first time we do this. But yeah, it was just one of my very random ideas. You know me. And by the way, if anyone, I'm a region. This is Erin. We run WTS. Um, and yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I know that both for people who are thinking of attending a conference, people who are going to attend the conference, there's just like all this like overwhelm that might come with it. And we were like, let's just put together something and see how it goes. But yeah, I just like to start everything with just a few quick housekeeping notes. All questions are good questions. There is no such thing as a basic, silly, stupid question. None of that. Cameras on or off, both are welcome. We're not, this is for us here, so you do you. And questions as we go. You want to jump in, interrupt us, do that, get off mic. You want to add something in the chat, do that as well. And we've whether you're a ticket holder or not, you're more than welcome here. So thank you all very much. Um, and yeah, today we're gonna cover, what makes the WTS Fest experience different. We'll hear from a few of our wonderful community members who have joined us, so that you're not just hearing from our very own biased experience. We'll do a virtual walkthrough of the space and day. I had a lot of fun earlier today just going through different like images and so on that I've added. And then we'll walk through the agenda and timings. And then, yeah, lots of time for questions, questions, questions. So super informal and interactive. And just, yeah, very quickly on why we did create this session. So attending conferences can feel extremely intimidating, and we really want to remove like any uncertainty that might come with it and just help make attending feel more accessible. I wish, I don't know, there's something about this where it's like, we're a little over 3 months out. It's just there's something that feels good and nice about kind of like knowing what to expect, whether you've already committed to coming or whether you haven't. And that's what we're hoping we do through today. We have our wonderful attendee Slack channel, which we already started last week. So all our attendees are in it, and they can, already doing like introductions and chatting with one another. But yeah, I'll have Erin take over now, but just very quickly, I just want to see everyone's faces for a second, if that's okay, and just ask, just raise hands or write in the chat if you've attended a WTS Fest before. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, and we have a few folks who haven't. So yeah, so that's a nice mix. Okay, Erin, would you like me to? I'm just making sure this all stuff looks good, and then I'll just share this again.
Thank you.
And I'll.
All right. And let me just make sure. Yeah, it looks like the audio is okay, so we don't have to switch back and forth. Everyone, thumbs up, thumbs down if you can hear me all right. Seeing some thumbs up. Great. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what makes WTS Fest feel different. And it was kind of a fun exercise because we do have sort of our values, our code of conduct, these things that we often refer back to. And it's always nice to kind of go back and see, how does this show up in these initiatives? And really, the WTS community as a whole exists to center people of marginalized genders in our industry. And we design WTS Fest as an extension of this. And within our values and what we want to do as a community, we want to make sure that we're running the kindest, most helpful, respectful, judgment-free, and innovative search conference in the world. And I was like, should we rebrand it and name it that? Which, I feel like that's easy to say. Kindest, most helpful, respectful, judgment-free, and innovative search conference in the world. It would look good. Himi, let us know what you think that would look like on social graphic.
And good luck to Heather having to introduce that.
I feel like it would be good for SEO though. But that is what we're here to do. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, with that being our mission, what are some of the things and the ways that we design WTS Fest to live into that? And I think the first thing that came to mind is we want to always make sure that it does have a community first approach. So we build it with the voices of attendees and members. We have extensive feedback that we gather from the community, from our initiatives, from an overall community survey throughout the year after every WTS Fest. And we use that to make changes year after year on, what folks want to see, what felt good, what we should double down on. So we always want to build these things alongside our members, not just for our members, but with our members. And part of this community first approach is it's members on our stages, it's members volunteering, it's members behind the exhibitor booths, it's members in the audience. So we really do want it to be this community first conference. And that also means that we're going to focus on meaningful connections over networking pressure. So we have tested some different networking, facilitating and things like that. But what we found is people ask for it. It feels a bit forced. So we try to design the day to just have long breaks, and we try to create reminders for folks to open up their circles and make sure to make space for people to join in, chat with folks. So we try to kind of lower the pressure of you need to come here and network and just let it organically happen by how we design the day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this stays intact through our code of conduct, what we call the WTS way. It contains our rules and our values. And what we design that for is really to create psychological safety. So we set sort of the expectations on that very early and often. Mm-hmm. You have all likely seen us mention the WTS way in the community, in an email, on a call. If you've been to WTS Fest, you've heard it so many times. But that is, we mention it often, and we ask people to go back and read it, even if you've read it before. We go back and read it. We went back and read it to prepare for this session. So it helps us set the tone of what the event will feel like, who it's for, and what's the expectation and rules and how you show up on the day. And then we reinforce these values and rules on the day by, again, mentioning the code of conduct throughout the day, and having pieces of the code of conduct show up in little parts of the day, like pronoun stickers, or having a prayer room, a quiet room, lactation rooms in facilities. So we make sure to look at this and take a stab at how do we create this through action and visuals and spaces on the day. So our hope is, kind of packaging this all up, is all of these little pieces coming together helps assure that first-time attendees are welcome, or maybe people who are coming on their own feel welcome, and it feels a little bit less scary. And I think what kind of wraps this all up is the code of conduct is not just words on a page, and we're not just shouting at it about it for to hope that everybody abides by it. The fact of the matter is, if you have a code of conduct and you have this many people, it will break at times, and that's unfortunate. But we take quick action at those breaks of the code of conduct. We hope that we create a system where people feel comfortable to come to us to handle these things. And I think that kind of period on the end of this is what really creates not just psychological safety, but hopefully safety, full stop, at our events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Erin, and thank you all for being here. Thanks for all the claps. So now we're going to hear a little bit from a few of our wonderful community members, and we have a few of them joining here. Just FYI, I think they're still on holiday, so yeah, so okay. We can. Okay, so we will start with the amazing Victoria Larson, who this was, very first conference you've ever attended, has been a speaker, an attendee, a volunteer, just like all the wonderful things. So yeah, if you want to go ahead with a question.
Yeah, Victoria, I didn't know that the 2023 Philly conference was your first conference ever. And when Arij said that, I was just, kind of floored. And I want to understand if you remember making the decision to come, like what helped you feel comfortable to make that decision and decide, all right, I'm going to do it, and this is the first one.
So interestingly enough, it was shortly after I had gotten involved with Women in Tech SEO at all. So very kind of new to the organization period. And I learned that there was going to be a US. I knew that you had had some on the other side of the pond, and I was a little envious. And when I heard there was going to be one in the US, excuse me, I shared that with my supervisor at the time, like, oh, this is really cool. It'd be really great if we could do that. And she actually went ahead and got the ticket for me
Mm,
Mm.
as like a reward for just like being a good member of the team. Was like, here, go. Which also meant that I was going by myself. So I
mm,
went to this conference in a city I'd never been to before, to my very first conference, something I'd never experienced before, just by myself. And I have to say, that could have been, it was a little intimidating to start with, but the information provided made it super easy for me to pick where I should stay.
mm,
The way that it was laid out, all of the instructions ahead of time made me feel a lot more confident about like I'm making sure I'm arriving at the right place at the right time. The volunteers at the event made it very, very easy to feel welcome. By the time the conference was over and we were at the like kind of after party networking get together, I had met multiple people, found
Mm.
like whole new friends, didn't want to leave. Like, and I'm not somebody who feels comfortable just going out and striking out on my own and doing that sort of thing. But the whole way that the event was structured just made me feel a lot more confident about the decision that I was making. And even talking to some other people afterwards who had gone to other conferences, I think Moz was like right beforehand,
mm,
that like the experience of the Women in Tech SEO Fest was so much better than these like large, big, really well-known conferences, that the takeaways from the talks were a lot more meaningful. And then later on, when the next year I brought one of my coworkers with me, she also was just like, this is amazing. I've been to so many conferences. This is such a great experience. I get so much out of this. I want to like I'm like inspired and I want to do stuff when we get back. So overall, and I've been to several conferences since then, I say Women in Tech SEO is by far my favorite.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you,
we appreciate
Victoria.
that.
And yeah, I have to mention you do the best nails ever.
Yes.
Like Victoria gets the WTS logo on her nails
Yep,
every
yep, yep. I
conference.
make those myself.
Yeah. Oh,
So good.
thank you for everything.
Yeah, and I think what I love too about your story is that was your first conference, and I would have never known that. Then seeing you take the stage for
Mm,
WTS Fest,
mm,
then seeing you take, I've been to other conferences where you have been
mm.
speaking as well. So yeah, I also love that it feels like that first conference then, kind of put you on this path to not just attend conferences, but you're also getting up there and sharing your knowledge, which is brilliant and beautiful
Mm.
to see.
Thank you, Victoria. And now we'll just hear from the Fab Heather Hamilton, who we love so much and is our US MC and will be MCing this year. Heather has been a WTS member for years and years, has attended WTS Fest, has spoken at WTS Fest, has volunteered at WTS Fest, has a WTS tattoo. All the things, yes. So yeah, I know we had a little question that was written up for you as well, Heather.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've obviously experienced WTS Fest and WTS in so many different roles. So, what do you think makes this community feel different, and what advice would you give first-time attendees?
Mm. Let's see what makes this community feel different. I feel, well, I can go back to the very first conference I attended where I sat in the back and didn't talk to anyone because as outgoing as I am on stage, I am
Mm,
actually extremely introverted.
mm,
Like you will notice me as I go through the conference, as I'm emceeing, I'll talk to people and turn it on, but I will go in the quiet room by myself for a minute. I will take a lot of breaks. Like that is something that I have to do for myself. And so I did that my very first WTS Fest. I just sat in the back and like took it all in. But the thing I noticed was the representation. There
mm,
were all sorts of folks there. There
mm,
were all colors of hair.
mm,
I have a lot of tattoos. There were a lot of tattoos, just all backgrounds. There was the
mm,
prayer room. Like there were so many things that I was like, wow, this is just a space where I can truly bring my full self. And
mm,
that does not feel like the case at many of these conferences.
mm,
So that's why I opened up so much after that first one when I realized just kind of all the different people there and how I could just be me. And so it was really easy to accept when Arish was like, hey, our MC got sick and called me at 9 p.m. the night before. And we know you're going to volunteer, but could you MC? I was like, yeah, I got this. Because I knew I could just be me and like bring
Mm.
myself. And I just feel very, very comfortable and everyone's so welcoming. So
Yeah. Oh, we love you, Heather, and you always do such a brilliant job emceeing and just taking care of everyone, sharing all the information needed. I think it's such an important role, and I know how serious you take it. Like Heather drafts up her script month and month in advance, makes sure she knows all the key information, checks in every single session. Is there anything I need to make sure I let folks know about before the break? So it's just a really important role for like the attendee experience, and you take it very, very seriously, and we appreciate and love that so much.
We do.
And also this year, Philly, you're going to be speaking, which is so exciting. You'll wrap up the conference as well. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited because I'm gonna do an outfit change. So
Yes.
Yes.
that's gonna be my favorite part.
I love that.
And I think there's something really special about, I mean, I've run a lot of conferences even outside of WTS Fest, and I think if my MC called me at whatever it was in the evening before and was like, I'm out, the panic I would have had. But I remember that
Yeah.
happening and we were just calm. And, it was just a phone call. But there
Yeah.
is something so beautiful about having a community conference where even as the event organizers, it's sort of like, if things go wrong, it's not just on us. We can ask people for help. So we appreciate you, Heather, and thank you for reminding us that.
Thank you. And then, yeah, last but not least, the wonderful Susan, who's attended several WTS Fests and has also volunteered with us previously.
Yeah, so Susan is one of our, not few, but probably many, coast to coast has been a part of our Portland experience and our Philadelphia experience. So, Susan, I'd love to know, like, what surprised you most about attending WTS Fest Philly? And what would you say to someone who may be unsure about coming?
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, just
Susan.
on mute. Oh, wait, I think we can. There
Oh,
you go.
good. We got you.
So there are so many things. Unlike some of you maybe, had attended so many conferences and was intimidated, and I'm very outgoing, but when it comes to being in a room with 100 people or more and you don't know anyone, it is very intimidating. And with the Philly and Portland, I mean, I've been to, I think, 2 or 3 Phillies and then one in Portland where I volunteered. But I think the volunteers share the emotion and understand how hard it is walking into that room initially. And if it wasn't for the volunteers kind of like greeting me halfway, I was walking down the corridor and the volunteers came out and greeted me. And I was like, oh gosh, this is different. But the soundtrack, we have the most amazing soundtrack ever that builds women up. And you know what I'm talking about, Arise? Who put that together, Aaron?
I think it was actually collective. I remember we did it as in one of the Slack attendee channels 2 years ago or something, and we had like everyone just jump in and add
Yeah.
Spotify. We started a collaborative like Spotify playlist.
Oh, it's the best. The first time I heard it was in Portland, so you guys.
Yes.
But the thing that surprised me most, I think, is just the overwhelming feeling of community. And I mean that in such a deep way because I have been to the Mozes and local U's and the different ones, and local U's smaller, so it's nice, but it's just so intimidating. And I think the welcoming from the volunteers and other attendees is just the most there. It's the best there is in the industry.
Oh, thank you,
We
Susan.
appreciate you.
And yeah, thank you for always supporting us. And I know you always put so much time and effort to come out and hang out. So thank you.
And let me remind everyone, there's so many more ways to participate than just attending a conference. It is a whole community with, it's awesome, full benefits. There's so many ways to participate if you're still on the fence about a conference.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that. And yeah, that's a really good point as well. Like show up in Slack and see it for yourself firsthand. And if not this year, then there's always next year. So
yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll do a quick virtual walkthrough now, which for me was like going down memory lane. I chose the most random pictures ever, and I apologize in advance. Okay. And I decided to use some word art as well because I was like, this is so pretty.
I was wondering what that font was.
It's like,
That's not WTS branding.
I just used random word art, but this is the building. So this is how it looks like from the outside. And then, yeah, it's in Duane Morris Plaza. And then you go up the 13th floor and it has this big convene sign there. So this is, I think, our fourth time heading back to that same venue. It's such a wonderful venue. And the reason it's wonderful is because of this amazing woman, Catherine. We love Catherine. She's our venue manager. I have no words. She's brilliant. Every single email, there's something so, I don't know, like we're organizing all of this from London. And we're not worried. She has the answers to all the questions. And I remember we show up at like 6 a.m. in the venue and she's there already. And we're like, oh my, how are you there already? But yeah, this was her last year in the morning, filling all the...
Helping the catering team.
Yeah, she's
everything.
incredible. So yeah, make sure if you run into her this year... But we literally, before we sign contract for the new year, we're always like, will Catherine be working with us? Because we have no interest in staying if we're not going to have Catherine. But yeah, we love Catherine so much. And then registration, we have our wonderful volunteers there who help you. Our name badges are loved by everyone because we very smartly print the full agenda in the back. And our amazing headline sponsors are the ones who provide us with lanyards, who last year was Conductor and this year is Yes, it is Conductor again. We love Conductor. Thank you. And yeah, so it's very, very smooth because you just show up and you give your name and that's it. You get your name badge and your lanyard and you get, you can add a pronoun sticker and everything is just like super easy to do. We have breakfast. So when we say registration, there's always, time to grab some pastries, have some breakfast. I think it was like there were like overnight oats last year, which were absolutely delicious.
Yeah, and definitely recommend because I think we put the start time and then the talk time, but coming when the registration opens is the way to do it. Have some breakfast and yeah, just get the feel for the day before you sit down in the conference room.
And then this is what the room looks like. So is something that I know our wonderful American friends absolutely love is those tables in the back so that they can sit with their laptops. Now, in order for us to fit around 300 folks, we aren't able to have that in the whole room. So the last two rows have these tables, but then everything in front is just theater style. So, folks who have attended several years already know in advance and they tend to come in and like grab them. But just so this is like a little insider tip if you want to make sure.
Are you digging in at our American competitiveness to get people there on time?
But they know this is what works. And yeah, we have lots of, it's so easy to view across the entire room because we have like 4 different screens that come down. And yeah, our speakers are hopefully, they have their own speaker guide to go through, but there's a comfort screen in front of them and a timer and yeah, all the things. But yeah, everything, this is the main conference room, and then outside is where all the breaks are, the exhibitors, the registration, and so on. So it's so easy to just go, from one space to the next. And then we have a lot of wonderful exhibitors, and I just took a few pictures of the ones who are coming back again to Philly this year. So yeah, our friends at Uberall, Demandsphere, Nozzle, Zipsprout, they'll all be joining us again this year. But our exhibitors are glorious and wonderful and friendly, and just they are, yeah, just the absolute sweetest. And our Nozzle folks, and I don't know, but for some reason, every single time they come with us, they buy these gigantic TV screens and they give them away for free at the end of it. And it's a whole thing. And people actually take them. And it's something that I've only seen in the US. I've only seen it happen there, but I absolutely love it.
And
There's
they've loaded
something.
them into Ubers.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It gets done. But yeah, I love it's just become like a little tradition. And then we have breaks. We have a morning break and an afternoon break. And in the breaks, we also, there's lots of like yummy snacks and lots of drinks and coffees and teas and all the things. And we feed you lunch. So you don't need to like leave and, go and find lunch somewhere. Lunch is included. We ask everyone for their dietary requirements and we cater to that as much as possible. And it is absolutely delicious for folks who have been there before.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we put these cannolis on the menu again this year?
I haven't seen this year's menu yet.
Let's see what we can do.
But something I'm planning on doing, and I learned this from Yagmur, who organizes events in London and Antalya. I love this. She has a conference coming up this Friday, and she sent the full menu to the attendees last week. And I was like, that is so smart because we get that like menu a few weeks in advance. And I was like, we're absolutely going to do that this year. I'm going to send the menu to everyone. I think there's something amazing about that. And then the best MC ever. We love Heather. Yeah, just the absolute best. And we're so lucky to have her on the team and on the crew. And she gives attendees such an excellent experience throughout. So we love you, Heather. And then Lindsay, anyone who's attended before knows Lindsay right here in the middle. Our brilliant US photographer has been with us in every single edition. And has started joining us in our Portland conference as well. No words, just the pictures, the energy, we always call Lindsay the most photographable photographer we've ever met. Everyone wants to take pictures of Lindsay.
And with Lindsay.
And with Lindsay. But yeah, Lindsay is just like anywhere you look, Lindsay's there, like standing on a table. In Portland, we saw them like behind a bush at some point, taking like these pictures. But yeah, always produces the best pictures ever of everyone. And then our wonderful volunteers. So you see these beautiful, colorful scarves. That's how you know they're our volunteers. So everyone dresses in black and then wears these colorful scarves, and they're around the whole day to help and support. These are like our famous LED lights that some people are convinced that we ship with us when we travel in different places. But no, we just rent them locally. That's what we do. But it's funny, we got that question last year in Melbourne where people were like, oh my God, how did you get these all the way to Melbourne? But yes, the answer is just Google or Instagram search marquee.
Instagram search.
Yeah, marquee letters city, and then you're gonna find like local providers who do it is our big secret reveal. But we do like to joke around and pretend that we have bought them with us. But yes, everyone takes pictures with them. Yeah, and then the agenda, which I'll just walk quickly through before we do. But actually, before I do that, I'm just so curious about what's happening in the chat, so I'm going to take a quick look. And I know Erin's been keeping an eye out. But if anyone has any questions already before we walk through the agenda, please
the summary is
feel free to jump in.
Love the food, love Lindsay.
Oh, yes, you will not be unfed. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something in general like beautiful about when you have like a full day experience. Oh, thank you, Heather. Keeping everyone in the same room, having meals together, just like all the things kind of, yeah, just like helps. It's like lots of chances to basically connect with one another. Okay, so let me just go through this quickly. So this is basically how it looks. 8 a.m. is registration and breakfast. And just FYI, we do this for there's a lot of things we do special just for our US folks. For example, our London conference always starts at 9. And the reason this happens is after the first Philly edition, the main point of feedback we got was 20-minute talks are too short. We need longer talks. And so from then on, we made the decision that all talks are going to be 30-minute talks in our US conferences, which then meant an earlier start. So this is all for you. So yeah, we do registration and breakfast, 8 to 8:45. We kick off with some opening notes. And then we basically have 4. So it's a one-track conference that's then split into 4 sessions. So the first one is analyzed, that's 3 talks, and then that's followed by a 45-minute break. And then we have advance, which is 3 talks, then followed by the lunch break. And then we go into innovate, which is 3 talks, and then that's followed by an afternoon break. And then we wrap up the day with empower, which is 2 talks. And then we do closing notes. So we normally have 10 speakers in most conferences, and sometimes we have 11. We have 11 this time in Philly, which is very, very exciting. And yeah, our full speaker lineup and the agenda, all of it is on the website. We're so excited. There's some amazing, I know I've seen Leah on the call here.
Yeah.
She'll be speaking and taking the stage, which is so exciting. And yeah,
And Brit's on as well.
And Brit is on as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's such an excellent lineup. Definitely do check the agenda out in full. We have like full details on what all the sessions are about. So do check that out. And yeah, just a few bits and bobs before we just go on to questions. So it's happening on October 1st. Standard tickets are currently live at $4.99. We do group ticket discounts. So all of that is on the website. We also have scholarship tickets. Our scholarship program is extremely important for us. And we have such wonderful scholarship sponsors across the board. So we've done an initial allocation of scholarship tickets so far, but there's going to be 2 more rounds. So you'll find the scholarship form on the website. If it's something that you really want to attend and you don't have budget, please do fill that scholarship form. And in general, just helping us spread the word helps. So if you are coming, then invite a colleague, invite your manager, invite a few folks. And of course, we have the Slack channel, which we've already opened up for our attendees to connect with one another. And in general, we have the WTS workspace as well, if for everyone to connect with one another. Okay, so if you have any questions that come to mind, you feel free to start typing them up, or we'll have room to, get off mic and ask them. But just a few things really quickly. And I know some of these might seem just, I don't know, super, whatever it is, like basic or common. But yeah, it's just, these are actually questions like we get all the time. So is it okay to come alone? Yes, absolutely. Please do. The number of times I've seen folks walk in completely on their own in the morning, and then I see them at the end of the day, and it looks like they're hanging out with their best friend for life. And then they let me know we've only met this morning, and I'm like, what? So, there is everyone opens up their circles, and everyone is welcoming to everyone. And also you do you, like if you just want to attend the sessions and you don't want to, it's a kind judgment-free zone. What should I wear? You do you. We don't have any, everyone just dresses in what they want to and they feel comfortable. We in general just recommend like layering up is always a good idea, because one of the biggest things we have is it too cold? Is it too hot? And so forth. So yeah.
It's going to be both.
It's going to be both.
Always.
It's always both. What time should folks arrive? So 8 a.m., 8 a.m. start time. Sessions kick off 8:45, but we have the most punctual audience in the world. There's something about registration being pretty much done and sorted in like the first 30 minutes that I find absolutely beautiful. Meals, yes, all the meals as you saw in pictures. So we have breakfast, we have lunch, and we have snacks. Breaks are as you saw in the agenda throughout the day. And the Philly venue is beautiful and big and wide, and there's lots of seating options. But in general, it is a lot of people. It's very like standing style networking, I would say, throughout the day. But there are lots of different areas for people to sit down as well if they'd like to. And yeah, do you want to take the next few?
Sure. So, and with the breaks too, it's often like you take a break when you need one as well.
Mhm.
Step outside, step
Mhm.
into the quiet room, whatever you need. Design the day to make sure that you feel comfortable. So how folks usually meet others, we do encourage a lot of things on the day, like if you're standing in a group talking with people, make sure that group has an opening so that it feels welcoming. So we do give bits like little tips and things to, how to kind of create a more welcoming environment. But I think at the same time, what that does is helps folks have a bit more confidence to step into that space. So you'll meet folks maybe in line, hopefully not too long of a line, and not usually in the registration. Maybe it's standing in line for food. You'll chat with folks who you are sitting down next to, in the conference between breaks. The exhibitors are it's the exhibitor experience is so interesting to me because it doesn't feel to me like other conferences where you want to go up because you want to get the swag, but you don't really want to have the conversation. There is something so beautiful about the way our attendees interact with our exhibitors at a community conference. And it is a great and kind of easy opener if you are feeling a bit like, oh, I want to talk to some people. I mean, these folks are literally standing there waiting, to have a conversation, and they are community members. So I think that that's also a great way and sort of a low pressure way to start a conversation is, go and chat with some of our exhibitors. So accessibility accommodations. So we have, of course, like in the States, it's like ADA type accommodations. We also create some spaces for, like we've talked about, for prayer room, quiet room, lactation facilities in every email that we send out. So if you are signed up, starting from 3 months out, expect us to spam your inbox a little bit, but just kind of giving you tips for the day. We'll always have a little note that's saying, if you have a accessibility need, you reply back to that email, and that email comes right to myself and Arij, and we will make sure that we can do, whatever needs to be done to make sure that you have a great experience on the day.
And we have a welfare guide as well that we share across, and we update that includes all the information you need accessibility wise.
And then how to make the most of the day if you are introverted. So again, it's make use of these spaces that we have, and it's taking care of yourself. Maybe it is, maybe it's skipping a session. Maybe it's, instead of networking during a break, it's taking a beat and stepping outside, or, taking a beat and going into the quiet room. But really, I think make the most of the day by, I almost think of it as like challenge yourself by your own choice. So maybe you challenge yourself to step into a group and chat a little bit. And then after that, you don't have to keep going, right? Like you can then take a step back, but just aside and see how you're feeling on the day. Don't kind of put all this pressure on yourself, and know that even after the day of the conference, the community is still there to connect with. The other thing I would say is make use of our Slack channel. The attendees are in there introducing themselves, asking questions. Again, that's a kind of low pressure check-in point where you can start to share a bit about yourself, share a bit about what you're looking for on the day. I've seen folks share in there, hey, I'm going to be there. I would love to chat, but I might have headphones on, and that means like I just need a minute. So that is you do you. And then what if I need a moment away? Same thing. Take a step outside, take a step into our quiet room. You do you.
And just one thing to mention as well, I was meaning to add this, so I'm just going to randomly do this in the screen share because it's okay. We have this Philadelphia city guide, and maybe we'll add a link to it and we'll send the resources after, but it is very, very helpful. Like it has, it includes lots of information that we shared, but like more around, okay, the venue, how to get there, getting around, lots of tips for accommodation, attractions that are around, food and drink, like things that are in the area with different price ranges as well. So definitely do check that out. Like it is very helpful for folks who are like planning the trip. And yeah, ask us anything. I think I'm just gonna stop sharing now. There is one thing I also just like I just looked through this chat and let me know if anything has popped up. We don't record sessions in Philly, just as an FYI. So we did have recordings in the very first edition, I believe. No, in the second edition. To be honest, it's purely around cost. It is extremely expensive, and it's something that we have struggled to get a sponsor to specifically cover. We do it for the London conference. I would love to reintroduce it back to Philly because it is very important from an accessibility perspective. I know that it's not as easy for everyone to come and make it in, but just FYI for this edition, we will not be recording sessions, but we do share, of course, like the slides and the decks and everything around right after. Okay, do we have any thoughts, any feelings, any questions, anything that anyone is like curious about or feels that we haven't addressed or answered?
And you can type in the chat, you can jump off.
Yes, Susan.
I just wanted to stress how inspiring. I think that's a word we're missing today, how inspirational these communities are, and how it's just you go and you see a class of people that's excelling and they're willing to share anything with you for the most part. And it's a very inspirational conference. I remember I went to one in New York it was a 3-day conference. Not one person spoke to me in 3 days. And I didn't speak to anyone either because I was so intimidated at the time.
Yeah.
But I can't stress that enough. It's just such an amazing community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, we love you and we appreciate you so much. You've been, part of the WTS community for years and years, and it's always so nice to reunite as well. Thanks, Susan. Anna?
What's up, man? So
Yay.
everybody, how everybody's doing?
We miss you.
I miss y'all too. I also wanted to give a comment on same sentiment as Susan. I've been a part of the WTS, I think, since 2024. And it's been an amazing experience for me. I wish I could attend every year, but I've been part of the community consistently. Sometimes I join in, sometimes I am super busy, but what I love about it is that the community is always there. One thing I do want to give for my first time, I was lucky enough to be there with people that I knew. So I didn't really was there by myself. But one of the things that I try to do when I see people kind of sitting by themselves or kind of talking is I try to approach them. I try to do that respectfully because I've noticed that, I also suffer from anxiety, so I do get overwhelmed when I'm by myself. But if you are familiar with the venue, if you are familiar with women in tech SEO, don't be afraid to approach someone. Also, I think that's a really good tip. It's not just about us, it's about you, it's about us as a group. So if you are already a confident person and you feel like you already kind of got the hang of how, if you see someone, it wouldn't hurt to approach them. Obviously just say hello, kind of see if the person is okay with you approaching them, because they're probably like dealing with anxiety as well. But maybe they're just, waiting for someone to talk to them. So that's something that I keep an eye on as well. That when I was there, that I thought was really awesome. And of course, Arish, you were very welcoming. So don't be afraid to say hello to Arish or Aaron.
Oh my God,
I met Aaron the first time there as well. I didn't get a chance to speak as much with Aaron, but now I do. I speak a lot to Aaron.
Yeah, and we
so
still
can't
gotta
wait to see you again this year. But I remember the first time Aaron was the first person I saw when I went to get my badge. Also super welcoming. So that first impression is always very important. So thank you, Arish. Thank you, Aaron, for making me feel welcome, for always putting a smile on my face whenever I bumped into you.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
y'all were the best, and I can't wait to be back this year.
oh
Philly's
yes.
an amazing city, so I'm excited to go back.
Yeah. Oh, we love you so much, Anna. Yeah, you're the absolute best. And yeah, we love you and appreciate you.
I will add a piece of advice. Don't talk to them at 8 o'clock in the morning, or he's they're busy.
No, not when you
Oh
walk
yeah,
in.
Susan.
Wait until the break.
Morning is my most stressful. Yeah, like I just
Yes.
once that first talk like just goes, works, the
Yep.
clicker is working, everything, then I'm like, that's it. I'm relaxed, I'm good. But yeah, you won't I'm a bit, yeah, mornings I can feel a little stressed. Thanks for that, Susan.
Sorry.
Yes, Dawn.
Hi. I'm getting over being sick, so excuse my radio
Oh,
voice.
bless you.
But open call out. I'm an extrovert. You'll probably hear me around the conference. It's my first time attending. I'm super duper excited. But open call out for anyone who needs an extrovert buddy. Come find me. Send me a DM. I will find you. I will happily be your extrovert buddy. So.
Oh, I love that. And yes, everyone, we love Dawn so much. Just signed up as one of our WTS partners and WTSFest sponsors. So yeah, we love you, Dawn, through the Fab Pressable. So we're very excited to, yeah, share lots of initiatives as well coming up. But yeah, it's so I don't know. I love that there's such a nice, beautiful reunion in all of this. And yeah, we've got Britt, we've got Leah, who are speaking in this edition, which is so exciting. We've got Victoria, who I always convince to volunteer. I was like, are you coming? I need you in there. We've got Julia, our wonderful local Philly guide, who, yeah, just knows everything about Philly and is always like so helpful. And yeah, just so many wonderful people. So yeah, and yeah, thank you all so much for joining. Is there anything else at all that we wanted to say to wrap up?
Go Phillies!
Go Phillies. But yeah, just if anyone has any further questions, please share them across. Yeah, we're always here to help support. And yeah, thank you so much for joining, and we hope you found this helpful. We appreciate you all very much.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.
We'll see you.
Can't wait to see you.
Speak soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.